Today with us is Linda Benjamin, our relationship manager, and Eric Sopp, and he is in charge of all things digital at the Center for Financial Social Work. Next slide, please. Our guest speaker today is someone you are going to be so glad to get to know. Karen Rossner has some wonderful information for you, and she is truly a remarkable woman. I'm so glad Karen's with us, and you'll hear from her shortly, but we'll get started now on the financial social work part. Next slide, please. Some general reminders for you. And even before that, do stay tuned. We have a very special discount offer just for those of you who joined us. So we'll share that with you at the end of this training. So the slides aren't shared because they aren't proprietary, but you will get that email with the recording, and it will be up, that recording, on the website and on our YouTube channel. If you have questions, and I think you may, please be sure to put them in the question box. And we're going to try and save the last at least 5 to 10 minutes so that we can answer those questions. There are no CEs or certificates of attendance for today, but lots of important, valuable information. If you should have a tech problem, go to financialsocialwork.com, and Eric is there and will chat with you should you have that problem. Next slide. I always like to start with an audience participation discussion activity. I created one for today around the fears and the concerns so many of us have around health insurance. But at the last minute, I decided to put this up and ask you, what areas are your clients struggling with most? Certainly foreclosures are up. Credit card debt is higher than it's ever been. Food insecurity. But if you type your answers into the question box, Linda, our relationship manager, is going to share them with the rest of us so we can talk about that. Share with us what you're seeing, share with us what you're hearing, share with us what clients are feeling, and how you're helping them with these situations.
Well, we can tell by the first few responses that have come in, it's medical bills, lack of savings, all areas, healthcare, child support. This is interesting. My clients are experiencing transportation issues in Michigan and housing insecurities, scams and exploitations of money. Yeah. Lack of savings, debt, lack of savings, unemployment, collections, housing, cost of housing, gas. The highest need we see is for housing assistance. Rent is extremely high, and there are limited resources to help. Lack of benefit assistance, lack of savings. Housing insecurities, unemployment, medical debt.
How? Go ahead. Did you want to say something?
No, lots of the same answers.
Well, I would like to hear how the audience attendees are helping their clients with this. How are we helping? What are we doing? I mean, we have a really very important topic addressing the medical bills today. Maybe that's how I ended up using this, because we're going to learn some really important, good things about medical bill. The financial toxicity, which is what's happening because people can't afford, particularly in the cancer care community, they can't afford their medications, they can't afford treatments. So, anybody sharing some ideas to help?
Well, I think we need some ideas. I think we need some help today. I mean, no, we've got coaching, educating, prioritizing spending to align with needs and goals.
Okay.
Trying to decrease costs by enrolling in programs and benefits the clients are eligible for, pointing them to resources for outside assistance, basic budgeting, helping people organize their finances, and this one, providing a safe space to talk.
Don't we have the best audience? Really?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, it helps me feel a little better to hear how you are addressing this, and that you sound like you're feeling competent or confident. These are just unprecedented, for me, unprecedented times for our clients and for ourselves. Okay, next slide. Let's see what's to share. This is very important to me. It is our financial social work affirmation, and I begin all of my trainings with it because the message resonates. Just for today, I will love myself enough to face my fears, practice self-acceptance, and embrace hope. Silence my inner critic, speak my truth, and make peace with myself and with my past. And just for today, I will give myself permission to eliminate toxic people, beliefs, and behaviors from my life and prepare for a better tomorrow by healing my relationship with my money and with myself today. Next slide. So, what is financial social work? It's a lot of things. Mostly it is client centered, trauma informed, and focused on financial well being. It is empowering, it is practical, and it integrates financial capability, financial therapy, and social work values and methods to help individuals, families, and communities. The bottom line, financial well-being is not just about money, it's about dignity, stability, opportunity, and hope. As we go to the next slide. Who needs financial social work and why? Whatever populations are sitting at their computers and joining us today, whatever populations you work with, all of them need the education, the support to learn how to take control of their money and gain control of their lives, whether they're families, young people, older people. Everyone needs to know how to manage their money. It's just not an elective in this thing we call life. Next slide, please. Financial social work began 30 years ago. Well, actually, began 29 years ago. Next year, 2027, will be that 30-year milestone. You can see that we started in the late 1990s and have progressively grown and developed these materials that are so important to our own lives and to our clients' lives. Next slide. So, okay, it's 29 to be exact, but for 29 or 30 years, financial social work has focused on these truths. People do not experience money only in their wallets, they experience it in their minds, in their relationships, and in their bodies and their mental health, which is why I talk about so very often that financial healing is holistic healing. It's social work in action. For social work to truly be holistic, we have to be helping clients with their finances. Next slide, please. Talk a moment about our relationship with our money. Everyone has one. Have you stopped to think about how you would describe your relationship with money? Obviously, there is no right or wrong answer, but the more aware you are, the more you, well, the better you can cope. And certainly, same thing with clients, the better they can cope and the more likely they are to change. Next slide. So, thinking about that, it's important to understand that that relationship with money affects every area of life. Again, from our feelings of self worth, our relationships, our peace of mind, and our possibilities. Next slide, please. Our relationship with ourselves does shape so much of our lives, influencing our thoughts, emotions, choices, boundaries, health, just how we show up in the world. Next slide, please. And you can see the importance, because financial stress doesn't just affect our bank account or our wallet. It's just integrated into every part of our lives. And when we're not paying attention to it, it's not likely it will improve. Next slide, please. It's important to understand that money stress lives in the body. It really does. And that emotional impact, you can see the fear, the shame, the overwhelm. If we're not recognizing that with clients, then we're missing a very important piece of the work we're doing. Financial stress is not just in the head, it's in the whole body. And I'll show you. Eric, if you go to the next slide. Oh, okay. So you can see here, this changed a little bit. You can see the title on the one on the left is how financial stress affects you in the body. And the one on the right, of course, is how and where trauma lives in the body. And we're directing that towards financial trauma, because that is what we're talking about. Financial stress, financial trauma. It all lives in the body. Next slide, please. So now we get to the financial social work lens, where I emphasize how behavioral, emotional, relational, and structural money is beyond the numbers. We have to understand the human experience. Seeing the whole person transforms the outcome. Next slide. There are barriers to talking about finances. One would be, how comfortable are you talking about finances? How comfortable are you talking about them with family, with relatives? But the people who walk into our offices, they don't want to talk about it. Usually they're hiding from it, and they're trying to hide it from others. For one thing, they don't know how to talk about it. They don't have the language, the tools, the knowledge, or the skills. So, unable to cope, they take all of that and turn it into self blame and self shame. We need to create safe, non judgmental spaces for clients to overcome those barriers. Next slide, please. Next slide. Up one. I think you skipped one. Okay, this is important to me because we need to understand why the connection between money and mental health wasn't originally part of social work, because that wasn't accidental. It was shaped by deeply rooted historical, cultural, and institutional forces that separated money talk from clinical practice. And it's getting late, and I'm going to turn this over to our speaker. So let's just go ahead quickly. Next slide, and we'll just jump through the rest of mine, Eric. So just to mention the real world impact of that gap between money and mental health. Next slide. Okay. Now we're going to turn it over to our wonderful guest speaker, because she has so much to share with you. Take it away, Karen, when Eric gets it to you.
Hello, everyone. This is Karen Rosner. My business is KMR Medical Debt Solutions, wiping out medical debt one bill at a time. Next slide, please. This is me and my mom many years ago. A little bit about me. I was born in Massachusetts back in '63, do the math. And I was born with a very serious heart condition. Defect, actually 2 defects. And that with that defect, I had several open heart surgeries. I had 2 strokes, 2 bouts of bacteria endocarditis, 7 pacemakers, a cardiac death for 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And then I had 2 defibrillators. And before that, I had before the defibrillators, I had back surgery because of scoliosis. And then I had a baby. And they were very, very surprised that I had a child. He was 9 weeks premature. He was 3 pounds, 10 ounces at birth. He now about 6'1" and about 170 pounds. So he developed very well. But when I was 42, my heart was getting worse. And it was either I get a transplant or I succumb to my condition. So I had a heart transplant. In between all this, I was going to school as a social worker. I have a master's in social work, been a social worker for about 38 years. And while I was working as a social worker, I was helping people get out of debt. And I was getting myself out of debt. I was getting myself out of medical debt. And that's why I do what I do, is because I've done it myself and I want to help people get out of medical debt. Like I said, I reduce or eliminate medical debt. Next slide, please. Now, nope, yep, there you go. Medical debt, excuse me. Medical debt is unpaid medical bills, as always, like just the way it sounds. And about 41% of our working Americans have that. Excuse me. And there's about $195 billion in medical debt. That is the #1 cause of bankruptcy here in the US. And I had medical debt. I'm paid up off all my medical debt. But you go to the doctors and you have medical debt. And I remember my mother had 8 children. I'm 7 of 8. My brother, my oldest brother, he was born in 53. He had to be in the hospital for 2 weeks because he had a skin condition and he was in isolation. His skin was coming off. 2 weeks in the hospital back in 1953 was $250. Back in 1963, when I was born, I was in the hospital for the first time for 2 weeks. And I was in ICU, had surgery, and my bill was $2,500. Look at today, if you're in the hospital for 2 weeks or 2 days, it's well over 10, 15, 20,000. So those, it's just, the medical bills are going up and up. And the common causes of medical bills is unexpected emergencies. You get in a car accident, and you have chronic illness like mine, and adequate insurance, and high deductibles, and triggered medical, which often triggers medical debt. So even though you have the insurance, you have the medical copay. And I'm sorry, my voice decided not to work right now. Excuse me. All right, next slide, please. Now, what I do for my job and what you can do for your clients is to really do a roadmap to lower the medical costs. And to start that roadmap, you want to analyze the paper trail and you want to understand why these charges are happening and how to reduce what you owe. And you want to communicate effectively and apply it immediately. And I'll be explaining each stage as we go through. Next slide, please. And analyzing the paper trail is your EOB. EOB is explanation of benefits. This is a document that you'll get from the insurance company. And then there's the bill, and that's where you get it from the provider. Next slide, please. Now, like I said, the medical bill, you may get it before the EOB or you may get it after the EOB. And with the medical bill, they'll have the procedure, they'll have the date of service, they'll have the code, and they'll have explanation of the code, the cost of the procedure or the visit, and then if there's any deductions, like the insurance paid for it, you paid your copay, any deductions, and then what you owe. And if you get the bill before you get the explanation of benefits, do not pay your bill right away. Do not pay until you get an explanation of benefits. Now, the explanation of benefits comes from the insurance company. And that is not a bill. And it gives you summary of how they process the claim. It'll show you the amount that the provider gave them, and then it'll show the allowed amount. And the allowed amount is usually less than what the provider asked for. And it breaks down the insurance paid and what you owe, if you have a deductible, if you have a co-insurance, and it will say, and they'll give you explanations if it's denied or partially covered. And on an EOB, if it's denied or partially covered, right next to it, it'll give you a letter and a number, or just a number, or just letters. And below all that information, there's a key towards the bottom of that bill, the EOB, which will explain more about those codes. And because one of them, it could be N91, and I'm just making up one, N91. And you can look below, oh, N91 is supposed to be a bundle expense, but the provider did it individually. So, and that's sometimes with dentists and also with various other procedures. Next slide, please. And the most common costly errors is what the balance, being charged. Like I said, there's a difference between the EOB, what they said they're going to pay, and what the bill is. And there's also a different charge for in-network and out-of-network. Now, that's a surprise. And I had a client that she had surgery on her arm. She had her surgeon was the doctor she chose. And she's in the operating room. She's sedated. And the doctor asked for another doctor to assist him. That doctor, the doctor that assists him, was not in network. My client never saw that doctor because she was under anesthesia, and never saw him afterwards. So we called we called the insurance company, explained that the doctor requested this person, this assistant doctor, and that she never saw them. And they looked at her EOBs and claims, and we were telling the truth. She saved $700 right then and there, because they brought it back to in-network billing for that assistant. Now, incorrect information. They may have your ID wrong. And for your insurance, they may have your date of birth, policy number, wrong address. You can correct these. And also, they may not have your insurance at all. And you want to make sure that your insurance is on the bill. And it will say up on the corner or during the explanations, United Health, Access, or Blue Cross and Blue Shield, that's the insurance. Make sure it shows that there is insurance. Because I had a client that he got a $33,000 scan fee. I called, see what was going on, because we don't have the insurance. I gave him the insurance information, and his bill went down to $250 because of his copay. Saved him $33,000 right then and there. And like I talked about bundling, they try to unbundle the bundles, and you want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And they try to upcode. If you're going in for a high blood pressure check, and they put high blood pressure and COPD, or they put COPD instead of the high blood pressure, which COPD is a lung issue, chronic obstruction pulmonary disorder. If they put that, they're going to get more money, and you don't have any lung issues. So you want to make sure that they don't upcharge in duplicate charges. And duplicate charges usually happens with labs and also medications. I caught on one of my clients, that they gave her pain medicine 1 hour apart from each other. High dose of pain medicine at noontime, and then they gave her another one at 1 p.m. So we got that taken off. So you want to call about that. Next slide, please. And you want to understand your rights. You know, the No Surprise Act protects against unexpected bills from out-of-network providers, just like we talked about in the in-network facility, just like I said about my client with the surgery on her arm. You want to make sure that there's no surprise and that they'll reduce it right away. And any credit report changes, that change, anything under $500 is no longer appears on your credit report as of July 2022. And then many states have medical protection laws limiting collection practices and interest rates. A lot of doctors and hospitals usually do not have interest rates on their bills. Some try, but then there's the healthcare credit cards. They do have interest rates. And I always try to get my clients, if they have to go on a payment plan, do the payment plan with the hospital, not with the credit card. Next slide, please. And this is the credit report back in 2019. It was how many went to credit, and now to 223, because they would have to wait 1 year before putting it on your credit report, and anything under $500 no longer appears on your credit report. Next slide, please. And we just talked about that. And having insurance is not a guarantee for that you won't get surprises or shocking medical costs. But we could work with the insurance, and you don't want to be blindsided with these. Next slide, please. Out-of-network providers, you want to ask if they are in-network or out-of-network, and you want to ask if anybody that's going to be, if you're going to have surgery, if they're going to be in-network or out-of-network. And pre-authorization gaps, there's usually a gap between scheduling your procedure and having the procedure, because they have to make sure that it's authorized by the insurance. Sometimes they miss, or it's lapse. I remember one time I was going in for a heart catheterization. That was just a couple of years ago. They approved my heart catheterization, and then they found out that I had some blockage, but they did not want to do anything at that time because they were making sure that I did not have rejection because of my heart transplant. I didn't have rejection, thankfully. A month and a half later, I was going back in for another heart catheterization to take care of the blockage. And my doctor had to talk to the insurance doctor. They get a peer-to-peer authorization, and they did it, and I was able to do that. So they got that covered. So coverage, limited and excluding, there may be caps, and sometimes insurances change everything, even during the year. Sometimes you'll hear your client say, well, my medicine was covered last month, but it's not covered this month. I get a lot of that. And we have to talk about, I have to call the insurance company about that and see why it's not covered again. And then mental health visits and also physical therapy visits there may be only a certain amount of visits per year. And then your deductibles reset. Some insurance companies are on the calendar year, which means goes January 1 to December 31st. And then there's some that reset in the fiscal year, which is June 30th, excuse me, July 1st to June 30th. And I worked for a insurance company, and that's what it was. Their insurance started on July 1st and ended on June 30th. So the deductibles and everything restarted on July 1. Next slide, please. Now, action strategies to reduce what you owe. A bill is rarely final. The bills that you get, and they'll say you owe this, you owe that. Don't pay the first bill, and don't pay when you get before you get the EOB. You want to make sure you have the EOB to compare, because sometimes insurance take a little bit longer to pay their bills than the hospital really wants them to. So make sure you look at it, get the EOB, and see if there's anything reduced on your bills at that point. Next slide, please. So how to negotiate and plan access assistance. One, when you get a bill and you get a bill from Dr. Smith and he's saying that you owe $2,500, period. That's the end of that. Do not pay that. Call them and ask for an itemized bill. You want the date of service. You want to know what they did, if they did any blood, what other tests. You want an itemized bill so you can review it line by line. And you want to review it with your EOB. Now, sometimes you'll get a cash rate and it'll be 40 to 60% less than the billed amount. I had a client, he gave up his insurance, health insurance. Unfortunately, about a month or 6 weeks later, he was diagnosed with cancer. And he ended up in the hospital. Unfortunately, he passed away less than a month and a half, about a month and a half after he was diagnosed. And we asked for a cash price instead of $150,000 for he was in the hospital about 4 or 5 days. And that's just the hospital bill. Then we had the doctor's bills and everything. So we got it. They went back down to 80%, $80,000. I talked to them. It went down to $60,000, and the wife is making a payment plan. And then the bills for the doctors and providers, we got that up. So, and when you're setting up a payment plan, do it with what you can afford, not what they're asking. They cannot refuse any money at all that you sent them. So, and before you pay any money for the payment plan, make sure you have it in writing, and do not let them take it out of your account. You put it in your account as bill pay and send it to them. Do not let them take it out of your account. And then there's always, they don't tell everybody, but a lot of hospitals, most hospitals, have financial assistance programs. And you ask them for financial assistance, they'll send you an application, and it could take a couple months. But once you put in that application, your bill is frozen, which means it won't go to 60 days, it won't go to collections, as long as you put that application in. Next slide, please. And communicate. I put a little some scripts in here, but what you want to do mainly is when you call somebody about a medical bill, 1, you want to put the date and time you called. 2, you want to know who you spoke with. And you talked to Mary, the receptionist, on July 7th at 10 a.m. And this is what she said. And you don't have to go a full note, but as long as you have a note. And you just want to be polite to them. You want to tell them what's going on with you. And you want to say you don't agree, or the EOB in your bill do not match up for the EOB charges. An approved denial, you call the insurance company, you do the same. And when you're requesting assistance, you do the same, ask for the application. They may direct you to their website to get the application. And for medications, applications for medications, that's the number one. I go to needymeds.org, and they help with a lot of medications, or the manufacturing companies of the medications. They have some assistance programs. Next slide, please. And you want to make sure you have your toolkit, and you want to have a checklist and the starting point. Next slide, please. And these are the checklists before you pay, like a EOB. Make sure the EOB and your bill coincide. You want an itemized bill. You want to make sure everything's correct on your bill. And if they have the insurance, and look for anything. And you want to call the billing department. In some hospitals, there's the billing department for clinics and some for hospitals. I always ask for central billing because they take care of both. So, and you want to ask for central billing, and then do an appeal, and get the application, and they will help you out. Next slide, please. And takeaways, 80% of bills have errors in them, and you can dispute all of them. And negotiating to the cash pay rate, 60% of savings, potential savings. And you just need to know how to do it, and talk and be courteous to them. And I know billing medical bills can be overwhelming. Trust me, I've been dealing with my own medical bills since I was 18 years old. My father told me I was his $1 million child because I cost him $1 million. But if you feel stuck, you could always call me. Next slide, please. And that's my information. I am here in Arizona. I service all of the country, the U.S. I had clients in California, Illinois, Massachusetts, and I have saved many, many people lots of money. Last year, I saved my clients over $87,000. And just yesterday, I saved one of my clients $6,600 just by one phone call. So, and talking to the billing. Does anybody have any questions? I'm an open book. Oh, and I'm an author too.
Okay, Karen.
Yes.
Eric is going to give me back the presentation, and then I'm going to share a few things, and then hopefully everybody put in your questions, and we'll have time. We don't always have time, but I'm guessing there are questions because that was a lot of important and valuable information. So I just want to share a few more resources with you. And we have a special discount for those of you who took the time to join us today. Next slide. So we have our financial social work certification. We have the basics right here. It does include 20 CEUs from National NASW, and it is the current method for becoming a certified financial social worker. Next slide, please. We have video courses, and right there is the code for a 15% discount on all of our products, the videos, the workbooks, the certification, and there's that code. So we have video courses on couples and money, on feminomics, the gender of the money, and financial social work for community nonprofits. Next slide, please. And we have additional other tools on our website to help you with helping your clients take control of their money and gain control of their lives. Next slide, please. Our textbook was published last year. Hopefully, going forward, we will have graduates, PSWs, MSWs, who have studied financial social work, micro, meso, and macro practice. Next slide, please. Next month's free webinar is on supporting farmers and rural America through financial social work. And we have lots, 5 to be exact, more wonderful free webinars this year. So be sure to watch for those announcements. Next slide, please. So we'll finish with a few things to remember about money. That's that we have to prepare our children for the real world by teaching them about money. We have to stop raising generation after generation of financially illiterate people. We want to stay focused on a connection between money and mental health because it's just too important to ignore. Next slide, please. Consider this. No one needs to know everything about money, but everyone needs to know certain things about money. I may need to know different things than you need to know. So know what you need to know and find out and learn about it. And of course, no one chooses to have money problems, but most people do. You're not alone. Understanding is the first step towards financial healing. Next slide, please. This is our final slide. There is the discount code, and you can see what I've shared here about financial social workers. Linda, do we have any questions?
Well, we do have questions. And what we have also are so many thank yous and just interesting, informative. Thank you. Thank you. And you are amazing. Questions. How do you get a medical provider to talk to you if you are not the patient?
For me, when I start working with a client, I get them to fill out the release of information and a limited power of attorney. And that is just about their medical bills. And I send it over to them, to whomever I'm talking to, the doctor's office, the hospital, the insurance company. And then once they have it in their system, it takes about 7 to 10 days after I send it off. And then they will talk to me.
Thank you. Next question. Do you have a flat fee or is it a percentage of the savings?
My fee is a flat fee. It's $4.97, And my clients don't have to pay all at once. It's a 50% down, and then the remaining is whatever, $50 a week, $100 a month, whatever they could afford. I want to help people. I don't want to stress them out with more um, uh, goals. I mean, more budgeting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
More
Okay.
bills.
Okay, thank you. Next, what strategies do you suggest for helping clients to ask about the necessity of medical procedures?
And when you're talking to a client and they need a procedure, have a lot of questions. Have somebody that's an advocate for you. Why you need the procedure? Is it important? When I was going through my stuff, I had to make sure that I knew what I was getting into. My parents handled most the surgeries that I had before I was 18. I had 6 open heart surgeries total before I had the transplant. The 6th open heart surgery, I was 35, and I asked why and all this stuff, and they told me. So we did that, and then when I got my transplant, they let it up to me because they gave me all the information that about my health and about my heart, and then they told me I could either have a heart transplant or have another surgery. And then I was like, what's the difference? What would it be? And they gave me the pros and cons of both, and then I made the decision to have the transplant because I would have ended up having another surgery 7 years later. I've been out of the hospital for 20 years. Before my transplant, I haven't been out of the hospital more than 3 weeks before I got back to the hospital. Did that answer the question, hopefully?
Yeah. Next question. I noticed you have a website.
Yes.
This person asks, do you have a book I can purchase?
Yes, I do. It's called My 12 Hours Aren't Up Yet. It's my name is Karen M. Rosner. It is on Amazon, and it's about my story about how I started my surgeries and everything else. So it's on
Great
Amazon.
question. Thank you to the person that asked it.
Yes, thank you very much for asking that. It's I always don't forget, but I forget. Actually, today I had my book published 3 years ago today, July 9th.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Well, I asked it and I ordered it. So the next question is, how do you handle insurance companies that deny needed services?
I have all the information, release of information, and also the limited power of attorney, and then I talk to them and I ask them why it was denied. And it could be a simple thing as coding. I had just yesterday or the day before a dental program. I called the insurance for my client, and the dentist put one letter wrong in the code, and they denied it because they said one thing, and then it was supposed to be something else. So I called the dentist's office and told them that the reason you didn't get paid is the code was wrong. And they looked at it and they're like, oh yeah. And so they're rebilling. So it's mostly coding, and also some of them also medications or anything. They will go back and they will help you with the medications. Some insurances, not all.
Thank you. This is kind of specific, but we have some time. The question is, what can be done if an adult child is on parents' insurance, but medical bills are in adult's name? Insurance financial aid application wants parents' information. Is parent obligated to give their financial information? Insurance returned application is incomplete and has since sent bill to collection. How does insurance use parents' information?
Well, if I'm understanding the question correctly,
Yeah.
and if the child is under 26 but over 18 or under 18 and still on the parents' insurance, the insurance will probably be under the parents. So that's why they're needing the parents' financial information. Because anybody under 18 cannot, they're not an adult. But if they're over 18 and still on the parents' insurance, because now people could stay on their parents' insurance up until the age of 26. If the person is not working, then the parents would have to submit their financials. And if they want to go in more detail with me, they could give me a call or send me an email, and I would be more than happy to help them through this whole process.
Great. Thank you.
So
I hope that answers your question.
I hope it answers their question. Yeah.
I know. That's, but if it didn't, give Karen a call. How long does it take roughly to assist with these bills?
It depends on a lot of factors. One, it depends on how fast the client gives me back their paperwork. Two, it depends on the provider or the insurance company putting my information in their system so I could talk to them. And once that's about a month right there, okay? And then once I start talking to the insurance company or the provider, it could take a few weeks to a couple of months.
Okay. Another specific question. I think insurance sometimes finds any reason to deny. I provide super bills and my client's insurance denied because my name was listed at the bottom of the super bill and insurance wanted my name as the provider on the top of the super bill.
Okay. Maybe it's the provider. It depends on why he's submitting the super bill. Is it for their company, their services, or is it for another service? Is it for therapy? Then they have to have a lot of the doctor's information for the super bill and the coding. Again, if they want to call me and discuss it in more detail, I'd be glad to. And my number also, if everybody, is 808-253-1157. That is my phone number.
Could you repeat that?
808-253-1157.
Great. That's it. Lots of thank yous, many, many thank yous, both to Rita and Karen. This session has been very informative.
Karen, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Eric. Okay, everybody, thanks for joining us today. I knew you'd be glad you did. We hope to see you back here next month. Stay well. Bye now.
Thank you.